Once again, very good morning to everyone. In the today lecture, we are going to start our third unit, which is nothing but the traffic engineering. So basically, your subject CEPC20 is nothing but the highway engineering and the pavement engineering. So under the highway engineering, as I told that the three major units we are going to cover. The first unit will show the growth of the transportation engineering field, how it is grown in the all the modes, particularly when we are narrow downing to the roadways, how the movements are happened, the developments are happened with respect to the history as well as with respect to the government policies, norms and other things we have discussed in the first unit. The second unit we try to cover the various design element, particularly when we are talking about the highways. So how the alignment will be there, horizontal alignment and the vertical alignment. What are the individual components are playing the major role with respect to the sight distance. And with respect to the simple problem, all the designs, how we are trying to achieve on the field. So this is the things we have covered in your second unit, and the third unit is nothing but the traffic engineering. So here the facilities we have provided, how it is working on, how the drivers are behaving, how the traffics are accumulated, the provided the facilities, how it is existing. So all these conditions can be evaluated using the different kind of the traffic parameters. So we can say that the technical or the core component of the traffic parameters that we are going to discuss in this third unit. Also, in addition to that else, we are going to see the different kind of the facilities with respect to the signboard and the other facilities, how it is provided and what are the criteria and what is the main advantages and the disadvantages. So all these things in the macro level you are going to study in your third unit, and with the complete micro level understanding about the traffic engineering you will be studying in the next semester as a part of the elective course, which is nothing but the traffic engineering and the safety. So when you try to understand the third unit in your TE1, that will giving the base or the foundations for the next semester elective paper. So in that particular aim, the creamy level we are going to cover in the third unit. What is the characteristics of the road users? So which is nothing but the pedestrian or the driver, then the vehicle characteristics with respect to the size, load and type of the vehicle, then the traffic parameters or the characteristics, we can say how the road lane we have provided, the permissible volume, capacity. So all the things are coming under the traffic characteristics. So these three major characteristics are giving the lace for the studying of all other traffic parameters like speed of the vehicle, volume of that particular locations, how the parking are happened, then the accident studies. So when we are talking about that individual speed itself, it is a micro level study. So in the master level, people are studying, even various researches are happening for the individual parameters like the speed, volume, parking and the accident. So all these four parameters you try to understand from this particular third unit. I will give the basics, fundamentals as well as that understanding of the various terms and conditions which involve in that particular traffic parameters that we can discuss in the third unit of the first what we can say stage. The second, we are moving to the very quick concept PCU, which is nothing but passenger car unit. Example, one road is there. You are trying to count the volume for the 1 hour. So in that particular road, buses are driving, car also driving, two-wheelers and all driving. So we cannot add all together and we cannot say totally three vehicles are travel in that particular road. Am I right? Because the three are in the different dimension. So you have to make the uniformity. For that purpose only, they have introduced passenger car unit. Example, one bus is equal to 3.5 times of the car. So one car is equal to one car. and one two-wheeler is equal to 0.75 of the car. So this is the conversations they have given with respect to the bus and the two-wheeler. When we are adding all together, you might be getting what will be the total 5.25. So this is the traffic volume which is given as a unit of PCU, 5.25 PCU, passenger car unit. So that concept maybe within a slide or one or two slide we will discuss. In continuation of that, what is the capacity of that given road? What is the level of service of the road? So basically when the road is there, the road is evaluated with respect to A to F, or A is indicating the excellent conditions, F is considering as worst conditions. So how it can be evaluated? What is the rating and the actual meaning of A to F? So all these explanations we might be studying when it is coming to the level of service. So these three major concepts I will give very quickly about the BCU capacity level of service. The micro level you might be studying in that next semester. Then the third one, traffic signs and road marking. So why we need the signboard and what are the categories are there? What is the applications of the road marking? What type of road markings are there? If I'm not wrong, when you are in the first year as a part of introduction to civil engineering, so we have covered this particular concept in the micro level about the traffic signs as well as the road marking. So the same thing we are going to refresh once again in your third unit of T1. The final is nothing but the various facilities we have provided, like the roundabout we have provided, signalized intersections we have provided, and the bridges we have provided, which is nothing but the grade separated. So what is this facilities? What the design principles are involving? What is their advantage and disadvantage? What are the different types are there? So those fundamentals you are going to study in the last chapter of your third unit. So this is an overall content about that. I can say that it is a overloaded content in your third unit when it is coming to the traffic engineering, but we are going to cover in the concept level or the fundamental and the basics levels only we are going to cover it. So since it is in the basics and the fundamental level, then the load is comparatively it is less. So in case if you are interested by seeing the third unit, some of the topic or the more topic if you are interested, then you have the good options of the next semester for your elective traffic engineering and safety, where you will be studying in the micro level. Every components you are studying individually with respect to the equation, some of the example problem. So all the things you might be studying in the later part. So with this particular content, we will try to cover one by one the component, what it is explaining. So let's moving to the traffic engineering. So transportations engineering, I have given that very clear definitions of that particular term. In continuation of that, the traffic, okay, transportations and the traffic. So differ is there. So the traffic engineering also it is giving the same kind of the meaning. So when we are talking about the road, okay, in that particular road, how the traffics as well as the travel patterns are existing, how you are measuring that particular traffic and the travel by adopting science and technology. So that is defining as a traffic engineering. So this kind of that measurements definitely will be useful to understand what is the traffic flow on that particular corridor, what it will be there when we are trying to generate for the future, maybe after 10 or the 15 years. Once we learn all these things, existing conditions as well as the future scenario, how we are going to plan or design any facilities. Also, if this is an existing conditions, how the operations are going to happen. So all these things we are trying to apply with respect to that what we have a measure in the terms of traffic and travel when we are trying to make a movement of the any persons or the goods from the one place to another place. And To understand the traffic engineering, the main important purpose is that to improve the safety and efficiency, moreover to give the more comfort and convenient ride for the passenger. So this is the main motivations or the objective what we are trying to achieve it by studying and applying the traffic engineering measures on the field. So with this brief introductions, so basically in this particular unit, 3 E's we are going to cover it. So the different kinds of the E's are there, and 3 E's is nothing but engineering, enforcement and the education. To achieve this objective, which is nothing but the safer and the efficient fast movement, also to reducing the number of the accident, this 3 E's we are trying to apply as a transportation engineer or the traffic engineer. So the first one is engineering, where we are trying to design the proper road with respect to the proper facilities. Also, the maintenance supposed to happen in the proper way. So this is the first one. The second E is nothing but the enforcement, how the government is given the laws, rules and regulations. Example, if you are not wearing the helmet, what will be the penalty? If you are not wearing the seat belt, what is the penalty? How strictly the enforcement is following to reduce the number of the accident. So that is coming under the second E, which is nothing but enforcement. Third one is nothing but the education. Whatever the facilities you are providing as a transportation engineer, that does not matter. But how the people are adopting that facilities, that is creating a significant difference. Example, you try to introduce the metro facilities, but at the same time you have to teach the people what is the main advantage of the metro facilities, how to use that metro facilities including the smart card and entry exit, and what are the safety measures are there, what do and don't do. So all these things you have to teach the end users. So we have the different kind of the income people and the educated people. So how we are going to educate the public with respect to the facilities, how to utilize it. So that is playing that another important role when it is coming to the achieving the objective of traffic engineering. So that can be achieved by the school or the televisions ad, some awareness program, notices, and nowadays everybody is using the social media platform like the Facebook, Instagram and the WhatsApp. So all the ways we try to circulate the educations related to the traffic engineering. So finally, when you are trying to achieve the success in all these 3 E's, so that is making the smooth and free with respect to the safer environment with respect to the Indian conditions. So this is in a complete definitions and the detailed introductions about the traffic engineering. So with that introductions, so these are the scope of the traffic engineering. As I already mentioned that different characteristics like a traffic, road users and the vehicle characteristics are playing the major role where we can study about the various facilities. The second will be the operations control and the regulations. What is the speed limit we can provide, where to provide the speed breaker, where we can install the signalized intersections or the signboard bridge, where we can provide, where we can apply the intelligent transportation systems. So all the traffic operations control and the regulation is coming under the scope of the traffic engineering. Third will be the planning and analysis. That is nothing but what is the current scenario and what will be the future. Now the conditions will be the town. The 10 years it will be the city. After 20 years, the next to 10 years it become a metropolitan city. So this kind of that growth when it is happening, what are the plan we have to make it and what facilities we have to provide. So that can be covered under the third scope, planning and analysis. Fourth will be the geometric designs, which we already discussed in your second unit. Then the final one will be the administrations and management. The previous slide, what we have covered, that 3E concept is coming under the administrations and the management. So these are the five major selected scope we can say in the field of traffic engineering, where we have a lot of opportunities to explore as an engineer or the researchers how to study, understand, and what are the solutions we can provide which can fit for the Indian mixed traffic conditions. So this is a complete understanding of the traffic engineering and the scope, and this is the traffic characteristics. So why we have to go through the traffic characteristics? The traffic characteristic is nothing but example we can say the traffic volume or the speed, so number of the lane, roadway width, all the things are coming under the traffic characteristics, because it is very important to study and understand the traffic parameters with respect to the improvement of the any traffic facilities. So once you know what is the volume, then based on that you can able to provide whether you can provide the junctions or the signal or the bridges. So those kind of that conclusions we may come from that uh, applications or the outcome of the traffic characteristics. Also, when you're trying to study the traffic characteristics, the existing conditions, you will be learning how the congestions are happening, why the accidents are happening. So all the complete existing scenarios can be studied using the traffic characteristics. Definitely, it will be the quite complex to study because the human behaviors are involving by taking the decisions. Also different kind of the movement patterns are following on the road. So this ultimate messes are happening the complex situations to study about the traffic characteristics, but it will be quite what we can say solvable. Many of the researchers are doing on this particular field, which ultimately deriving the proper or the expected outcome. From that what kind of the facilities or the conclusions we can derive. So this kind of the decisions can be applied even though it is making a complex situations. So this is with respect to why we need the traffic characteristics. Those traffic characteristics we are going to study a little bit micro level in the further categories like the volume, speed, accidents, and the parking. The next one will be the road users characteristics, where the humans are ultimately involving. When you are walking, you are referring as a pedestrian. When you are using cycle, you are considering as a cyclist. When you are riding the two-wheeler, you are referring as a rider. Also the car driver and the passengers, the different kind of the road users are existing throughout the world, particularly for the Indian conditions, how they are behaving. So their behavior when we are trying to classify it, so that is coming under the road users characteristics. One of the examples are the physical visions, physical how the visions are there, hearing capacity how it is there, what is your reaction time. So all this coming under the physical, then the mental, psychological conditions. Also with respect to the environmental, how the road users are behaving. So all these things are some of the example to classify how the road users characteristics are existing for the various scenario. Then the vehicle characteristics, the final one will be the vehicle characteristics. So it has a different aspects like the dimensions, what will be the weight, power of the vehicle, speed of the vehicle, braking characteristics. The different kind of the vehicles are there with respect to the different sizes and the axle load. So all this traffic characteristics are, vehicle characteristics are giving the impact when it is coming to the traffic engineering study. Also when it is coming to the braking distance, what will be the initial speed, what is the actual durations of brake applications. So all these things are coming under the decisions to make the how the braking resistance are there by using the braking test. So all these characteristics coming under the vehicular category. So this is with respect to three different characteristics: road users, vehicle, and the traffic characteristics. So it is simple. And when it is coming to the road uses characteristics, when it is coming to the traffic characteristics, we are going to study the speed, volume, parking, and the accident studies in the macro level. Also, with respect to the road users and vehicle, we are not going to cover, but I have a given just an intro about the road users and the vehicle characteristics. So all the parameters you probably covering in your next semester. So here mainly we are going to cover the traffic characteristics, also how the infrastructures elements are existing with respect to the traffic characteristics. So that the complete detail you are going to study as an remaining portions of your third unit. Okay, since it is an introduction, so I'm conclude the today sessions here. Probably the next classes onwards we will try to study the volume parameter. Okay, so the students today very small quantum only we have covered in our lecture. We have started with the third unit, the traffic engineering, the detailed definitions of the traffic engineering with respect to the three E's we try to cover in the first slide, followed by we try to cover what are the scopes are coming under the traffic engineering. So the major five scopes we have covered. Then we have studied about the different characteristics, roadway, road users, vehicle, as well as the traffic characteristics. So this is the things we have covered in the today's session. Any doubt from the today content what we have covered? Okay, so since it is in a starting, I don't think so you might be getting the doubt. It is a very simple component only we have covered. In the tomorrow class, I think 10:30 we have the second hour class. As a part of your assignment, based on that second unit, okay, we already covered the second unit last week. We have completed all the materials. Every week I have uploaded in the MS Teams. So the problems also with respect to the solutions, it already uploaded in the MS Teams. Based on the second unit, few problems I will upload by 10:30 a.m. the tomorrow morning. Okay, so you download or you can see the questions what I was asked in that particular things. You refer the lecture materials or any other online material. You take our class hour 1 hour. So probably I might be asking the four problems. You try to solve all the four problems during our class hours. So once you done the problem, you upload your answer sheet in the MS Teams itself. So I will open for the submissions portal by tomorrow morning. Also, I will upload the questions paper in MS Team itself. So utilize our 1 hour class lecture, solve the four problems, and you must upload on or before tomorrow itself. So probably I will fix the deadline by 4 or 4:30. So that will be mentioned in that assignment paper itself, question paper itself. So this is with respect to the tomorrow assignment. There is no class, but it is an assignment hour. You try to solve it and upload it. Any doubt, student?